Residents of Orsk do not believe the authorities and report that the situation is escalating. The city continues to flood. The water level in the Ural River has risen to a record high for the entire period of meteorological observations. The dam could not cope the water pressure.
Everything in the house was damaged. Personally, I do not trust the authorities. We are waiting for the water to fall, and only then will we be able to see the scale of the tragedy. We are not claiming for payments yet, again, because we do not believe the authorities and the state. You get a small handout from them now, and then they will refuse to compensate the rest. Yaroslava, resident of Orsk, quoted by Telegram channel We Can Explain.
Orsk is the second largest city in the Orenburg region, with a population of almost 200,000 people. The city started flooding on April 7th. To this day, the situation remains critical in most settlements of the Orenburg region. People say that there is no help from the local authorities. For example, residents of the Ivanovskaya community have by themselves set up a center rescuing those who did not have time to evacuate, measuring the water level and collecting humanitarian aid.
We appealed to the emergency services before we were flooded, saying that it will happen. But nobody did anything. Nobody cares about us. We do everything on our own. My husband is at war, and I'm left on the street with my children. I lost my house.
The residents of Orenburg also reported that the local authorities and the Ministry of Emergency Situations do nothing.
You're trying to calm me down, but I haven't slept in 7 days, and the Ministry of Emergency Situations does nothing. They sit there eating their cakes, and on TV they show pictures of them working. They don't work. I'm telling you again, don't drive the people mad. You shameless. You came here for a picture, to show on TV that the Ministry of Emergency Situations is working. They're delivering pies, they're delivering water, but they don't deliver anything.
The Kurgan region was also warned about the threat of flooding. The water in the Tobol River and its tributaries is rising sharply. Residents are being urged to evacuate. The flood has already demolished 2 wooden bridges over Tobol. According to the preliminary estimates, 62 settlements, almost 4,500 homes may be flooded in the region. Potentially almost 19,000 people may be in the flood zone. Protective earthen dams also broke in the city of Petropavlovsk in North Kazakhstan. The Ministry of Emergency Situations of Kazakhstan started evacuating people from flooded areas. In total, according to the press service of the Russian Emergencies Ministry, almost 7,000 residential houses in 39 Russian regions were flooded. The situation has angered Russian citizens. People came out to rallies and do not hesitate in their expressions against both local authorities and state officials. Even Putin himself is no longer trusted.
For many years, the criticism didn't stick to him. People used to say it was the mayor's or the governor's fault. But Putin has been ruling the country for a quarter of a century, and this attitude is now changing. It became noticeable after 2018 in focus groups, and in 2022, after the start of the special military operation, a wave of disillusionment began. When the slogan "Kyiv in 3 days" turned out to be a failure and a lot of blood, the trend finally formed. People realized that the entire power structure is tied to Putin, that people don't choose mayors and governors, they are chosen in the Kremlin. And people realize this responsibility for the actions of officials falls on the Kremlin.
In turn, experts note that the good Tsar, bad Boyars formula is no longer working. Putin is no longer an icon. Reported by Anastasia Tarnavska, Yulia Granovska, UATV News.